What's up, hags? Oh, should not show that. That has like valuable information. Let's switch this to live. Yo. Alright, so the idea today is this banner for my channel I made like in 15 minutes when I was listening to some podcast or something a long time ago. And I don't even know what I was going for. It looks like I'm on the toilet here, and like look at all these random outlets that happen to be in this configuration. This was when I was living in Milwaukee, and this is just like an absolute embarrassment to what art really means or is. Like, I don't think you could consider this art. It's just a bunch of corporate logos, half of which I don't even support anymore. It's a bunch of random gradation of colors. It's absolutely just hideous. The video title is misspelled. Oh man. Yeah, it's absolutely a hideous art piece, so I want to redesign it. Well, that's all right. I'm farming engagement if it's misspelled. Yeah, what's my plan for the next week to couple of months? Let me first set up the canvas of this, and then I'll answer that. So apparently there's different sizes, and there's like desktop of banners you can possibly make. So this is the biggest. So I guess I'll start there. I usually call things thumb for thumbnail, but I guess I'll call this banner. And then I'll say, what was that? 2560 by 1440. 25 by 1440. And then 2560 by 423. That's really specific. So I guess I'll put a rectangle in there. 2560 by 423. Yeah, I'll answer that in a sec. What I'm doing. Honestly, maybe going back to school is what it's looking like right now, because I don't know, like I speedran into many different jobs, but I don't know if that's honestly what I want to do. Like, it might just be more of the play to go back to school and just try to be an academic. Like, I honestly don't know if I'd be like happier just being a software engineer 24/7. Mostly because of like the social scene of that. Like I have a lot of different places I could theoretically work. I could work online at a couple of different companies would have me. And the problem with that is like it's fun software engineering, but I'm 20 and 21 now, and I don't know if I want to spend like my prime years of life just like sitting at a desk. Yeah, yes, it's a burnt out stream. Who's Kevin Naughton? You have a little check mark. Are you famous? Or do you just have a check mark for the sake of it? I'm too lazy to go check who you are. If you could give like a little excerpt on why you're famous, that would be really nice. Yeah, I was actually a math major. Wouldn't going back to school slow down my progress? I don't know. But like what are you progressing towards? Oops. I meant to make a frame. Like, what's the goal of your progress? To make like more money? To learn more? If your goal is to learn more, like being at a university is kind of the best thing you can possibly do. Okay. This is 1546. By however high. Okay, so it'll be centered. Let me close this ad-ridden pain of sorrow. Okay, so that's the basic setup. All right. Oh, he has 140k subs. Okay. That's cool. Wait, you can use frame in the bottom bar. What? Oh, I know about frame. Let's see. I want money. And also, can you make a video about the tools you use? I feel like I have made videos about the tools I use. Alright, I'm gonna make this background white. Why is the guy with 140k subs hanging out watching a guy with less than that amount of subs? That doesn't make sense. People with fewer subscribers can't watch, or more subscribers. You can't watch someone with less subscribers. They won't have anything valid to say. Okay. What's the theme? I don't know. I'm just going to start throwing random things together. I'll look over and find a question to answer every once in a while. I'm going to make this a very light gray so that I know where it is, but it doesn't really bother me. And this an even lighter gray. Okay. So those are the different banner sizes. Okay. Your hair looks like a wig. What does that even mean? Doesn't all hair kind of look like a wig? Because wigs are kind of designed to look like hair. Isn't the whole point of reaction streams farming the views and subs from other channels? Yeah, I guess so. That's just so sad, you know? It's like people just farming numbers up for the sake of it. It's just like not that enjoyable. Okay, what's the one topic of math that amazes you? I could talk about that for a little bit. I actually don't really know because like I'm kind of a math noob. Like I don't feel all that good at math. And maybe that's why I didn't enjoy it all that much in school, is like I specialized in a couple of like web technologies very early, and like I picked a few programming languages. It's mostly like Svelte and other web frameworks like Svelte and Solid and Tailwind, and I got like pretty good at them, and then I felt like, why am I bothering learning all this abstract math when I could just get a job because I know how to do these things? But so I'm not that good at math, and I don't even think I'm good enough to like know what area of it I like. Like, I don't know. I've taken calculus up through group theory, and group theory was okay. And then I started taking topology, and then I stopped because I was doing too many other internships and stuff at the same time. And it was just like, it was more interesting to do that. But when I come back, I don't know, I'd love to tackle topology, I guess. I don't really know what's going on with this piece of art at the moment. I think I'm gonna make like some kind of engine block or something. I'll give it a go. Maybe I'll try asking the chat some questions. That's a way to farm engagement or something, right? All right, what's the most life-changing piece of advice you've ever received that when you received it, it like changed the trajectory of everything and you like reconsidered a bunch? Some abstract art. Man, people just arguing about ThinkPads. It never gets old to argue about different pieces of technology. That's the hobby. Oh, wait, actually, I have a good question. Like, how do you relate to people that like don't talk about like ThinkPads and Linux all day? Like, what's your strategy for relating to normal people? Like, when you're talking to someone and you just like don't care about what they're saying, how do you cope with that? And it's like just so utterly uninteresting. I don't know, you're talking to like some college girl, as some of you probably do, not many of you, but some of you, and she's just like telling you about her degree in environmental engineering, and you're like, oh god, it's so boring. How do you put up with that? Is there like some strategy to it? Probably my videos, read books and stuff. That's nice. My strat is to make them relate to me and not the other way around. How does that work, Greens? So you're gay. Yeah, I do kind of look like Timothée Chalamet. I've heard that once or twice. I think do not worry about revenge, for it belongs to God. Even though I'm not religious, made me a better person. Don't become a monster to defeat another. Yeah, that is a good piece of advice. Don't don't roast people. Or sorry, don't. I read that roast comment. I'm quite tired. You nod, add one line that makes you think they're listening and understand. I feel like that's the worst way to talk to them. Like, I feel like when you're talking to someone and you just like nod and you're like, yeah, I understand. It's like the bare minimum, and like nobody enjoys that. Like, you think it's fine, but like you have to go above and beyond and like actually care about what they're saying. It's very hard to like fake caring about what someone is saying. They'll pick up that you don't care. They'll be able to understand that at some like subconscious level, and that's really unfortunate, because what if I like really just don't care at all about what some normie is saying? Like, how do you deal with that? Wait, actually, change of course. What's like the average age? Can I create a poll in here? Like, I'm guessing most of you are under like around 18 or younger, but I'd be interested to see. Is there a way to create a poll? Oh, I cannot show that. That has like my stream keys and whatever on it. I don't really need a poll. All right, drop your age. I'm 14. $19. 19. 16. 17. 13. 23. 20. 19. 42. Oh, yes, 42. That's good. I was hoping for people that were older. 39. Okay, that's great. I think people that are older are typically working jobs right now. Oh, the way I make people engage with me and relate to what I say is by making them interested in what I have to say and what I have to deliver, by trying to start conversations and things they may relate. Huh. Interesting strat. Yeah, I doubt that a stream is able to represent your average viewer age, especially looking at difference between people on GitHub and your comments. What does that mean? Who do you think is older and who do you think is younger? Like, GitHub to me seems like they're younger people. Yeah. Seems like a lot of us are kind of young here. Seems like majority young people. Yeah. I kind of take solace in like the elders actually. People on GitHub seem older. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate to me that there are so many youngsters on my streams. Like I wish there were older people because they're just so much wiser. Like young people, I realized recently that like basically no one really has much figured out about stuff, and like you asking me for advice on like, oh, should I do this, should I do that, should I learn Vim, should I do what, it's like, why am I qualified to say? I mean, I don't know, I'm just some random guy. Why outsource your decisions to some random guy? But I guess every guy you have access to is just some random guy. But I tend to ask older people, like, what do they think? I don't really struggle with the notion of aging. No, I mean, one thing is unfortunate is when you get to take solace in others. Yeah, I do feel like a little sad that like I'm now like a grown up, you know. I'm 21. I'm like, ah, God, like childhood is over. The free ride is over. Now I have to like deal with responsibility. It's such like a that's such like a whiny millennial type thing to say, but it's like the contrast between childhood and this is like it's way much more work, and I didn't realize in childhood. I should have appreciated more that like I was able to not get away with doing a lot of work, that now I am like responsible for my rent and housing and all this other stuff, and it's like if only I had known. What am I drawing? I don't really know. I turned 22 this week. It's so over. Why is it over? Oh, yeah. Can I tell you some of the stuff that you learned from talking to people? Yeah, that's a good thing to talk about, actually. So I talked to the main guy I talked to was this one senior software developer. Well, actually, there was a couple. I learned a lot about like how you should live and behave as like someone who is not going to be like hyper successful in life, but is like can be moderately successful. I talked to some software engineers who are like senior software engineers. They're not famous by any means. You never would have heard of them. They're just like some random guys, but they all have skills that are like pretty highly developed, like in many different areas, not just programming. Like they're all pretty good at programming, but they also just like have basically the rest of their lives put together very well. Like they've negotiated very solid salaries. They have like really solid families. They have like a lot of them have secondary skills. Like I knew this one guy who was pro poker player, and this one guy who's like a pro chef basically, or not a pro chef, but he was cooking like Michelin star level dishes, very complicated things. And I guess a great example of this is also, if you know the YouTuber Ben Valek, is like a guy who's like not ultra famous, who's not like a billionaire, but if you're a software engineer, you're just like, you've put all your skills of practicing getting better at random things into, oh, that looks horrible. Oh my God. Into like tons of different disciplines. So like you have like a really nice house that you like do the maintenance on yourself, and you just like learn all these different skills. You learn how to cook, you learn how to maintain cars, you can learn how electronics work, and you learn how to learn. You get like a journal, and you learn like Zettelkasten or some other note-taking technique, or use Feynman's technique, and you just learn and learn and learn, and then you just have like a nice family and like a wife and kids, and yeah, that's about the best outcome you can get in life. And you just keep like improving everything, like it's your NeoVim config, but it's just like other parts of life. You get really good at cooking, you read and understand philosophy. I don't know, you get really good at relationships, you get really good at like understanding people and being empathetic. That's very important to being a parent. Being a parent eventually is like a very difficult, not difficult, but very kind of nuanced skill. Abstract art is a beast because people will think you have a meaning behind this art. In reality, you're just rambling some lines here and there and start giving random. Yeah, exactly. I'm adding random things all over the place. Yeah. That box assembly pissed me off. Why? Oh yeah, I compare life to programming like all the time. I'm gonna whip out the pen, I think. Is there a way to show the grid in Figma? Does someone know the shortcut for that? Oops, I just hid Figma. There we go. Yeah, if I zoom in enough, will a grid show up? No, never mind. Oh, that was way thicker than I anticipated it would be. Yeah, it's kind of just being good at a lot of different things is the best you can do in this life, and just keep practicing your skills. It's interesting also, like a lot of people I know that are good programmers kind of get into like meditation and introspection and understanding their own minds, because if you want to make like really advanced projects that span many months, your brain is actually quite bad at that. And one thing I learned from a couple of the really good senior engineers is like very important skill you get as you get older is the ability to recognize like the different ways your mind works and how our minds. If you've ever read this book called Thinking Fast and Slow, a lot of our thought comes from kind of like a basic emotional circuitry, and it's actually, we're very easy to manipulate and influence, and a lot of what we think is our own thoughts are actually kind of just coming from exterior sources. And doing like long programming projects to motivate yourself to do a project or write a book that takes like months and months and months and it's not all that enjoyable, it takes a lot of like introspection and understanding your own mind, and it's not necessarily fun or easy. And so if you like meditate a lot and you can understand how your own mind functions, that can be huge in building long-term projects. Jonathan Blow talks about this a bit, like being able to understand the workings of your own mind so that you can navigate it better. It's just like, I've felt discouraged recently because there's just so much to like, I see a lot of you guys like 18, 19-year-olds asking like, what's the next framework to learn, or should I learn Vim, or can you roast my website, or I don't know, they're just saying, like arguing about ThinkPads and Linux. And I remember when I was in that stage, it's making me like feel kind of like Oh, Shift G, thanks. Layout guides, visible. Does not look like that showed up especially, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, thoughts on Jonathan Blow's programming language, Jai. Yeah, I wish I was more capable of giving you thoughts on that. Add a layout guide? How do you add a layout guide? Developmental psychology, yeah. Wait, how do you add a layout guide? Light sidebar. Oh, right sidebar. Right sidebar. This is the right. Okay. No. Up here? No. Layout guide? Yeah, I don't really understand people asking me questions either. I just don't know so much. No, but I'm not in uni right now, but I'm returning to uni. Alright, sea arenes at the bottom. I don't know. I think you're making it up. Oh? Oops, that is not what I meant to click on. Yeah, true. Search engines do not give you very relatable results. We need to select the frame. Oh, layout guide. Oh. Wow, I did not know that was a thing. And you can make the color 2% opacity. Let's do like 20% black. That looks bad up close, but who cares? Connect up some wiring. Yeah, lately I've just been like half-assing everything. Been pretty unmotivated, to be honest. It's just like, what is... I don't know, like, why am I striving so hard when my conditions are already quite good? Like, I go to school for free, I have a bunch of friends and family, I have physical activities, I'm like healthy. I'm like not crazy financially well off, but I'm not like starving on the street, but yeah. I've been just like lazy AF lately. My passion for learning a lot of things has dwindled heavily. But I don't know, it's slowly coming back because I realize there's no point in not being passionate about stuff. But it sucks because like everything I see is like, just has this negative tint to it where I'm like, that's boring. That's nothing new. And I know it's just like the condition of my mind. So I've been trying to understand my mind more lately and like why I'm burnt out. Because once you understand it, it becomes easy to get back into a stage where you're excited about everything again. And I'm also not too worried because I know this happens to tons of people all the time, and there's a lot of like adults I respect that have been burnt out in the past, but have like still have very fulfilling and like successful lives. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like we just push people to work so hard, and our society of the burnout society, I guess. But it's like, I don't know. Why do I have to work so hard? I already have everything I want. Yeah, oh. Do you read fictions? If not, start a good series of good novels. Yeah, really excited and demotivated. Yeah, bipolar. Yep, pretty much. I don't know if it's actually diagnosable as bipolar. It's a sub-bipolar, but yeah, unfortunate. Fiction is an interesting thing. I do use fiction to distract myself, yeah. You can hold with the pen to draw a curved line. Can you really? I did not know that. P. Wait, hold with the pen? What do you mean, hold with the pen? Isn't it like a multiple point thing? Oh, I see. Wait, so if I do this... it's not like a nice low resolution curve. I'm not buying it. I like this. Looks more like industrial. Oh, that's too jagged. Okay. I wasn't sure what to comment on the burnout vid, mainly because I'm currently burnt out. Yeah, man, burnout is rough. Let's see. Yeah, I am talking to medical professionals all the time now. Yeah, the job market is quite demoralizing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can recommend podcasts. Darknet Diaries is a great podcast, actually. Darknet Diaries has some very interesting stories about like what it's like to be like a vendor of different kinds of illegal things on the darknet. It's a solid podcast. But yeah, definitely it has some moments where the host is like kind of dumb. Like he has some guy on and he's like, and that's when I sold 20 pounds of cocaine, and the host is like, this was really bad. And it's like, wow, thanks. And also the host, like, there's constantly these like really long ads on that show for like extreme like software for like, are you interested in, I think it's Exonius is one that comes up all the time, and it's like just a fucking outrageously big like software suite to like cover all these like corporate vulnerabilities, and it's like, this is just so for one specific like person who's like a CEO listening to this and is like gullible enough to buy our software suite, because like who average client ever would like seriously need an entire like cybersecurity software suite? Or it's like, you know, when you get ads for like corporate level things and it's like, oh, they're clearly targeting, they're trying to get like one person in the audience to buy this, because like who needs like threat level DDoS protection for their service? It's like, who do they think I am? I'm just like a guy here. I don't have a business. But yeah, Darknet Diaries is pretty good, but I would say the Sam Sulek podcast, or just Sam Sulek talking in his car, is pretty good. I like Philosophize This, which is just some high-level overview of philosophy. The host is pretty funny. I enjoy Make Art Not Content. That's a pretty good show. Honestly, like the Brian Johnson podcast is somewhat interesting. You know, that guy who's trying to live forever. Yeah, I am treasure hunting. That's why all the maps. I'm in the stage where I'm really motivated about building stuff, almost to the point of getting my dopamine from ideas themselves, not execution. Yes, dude. That is a dangerous point. And I hate to say it, like, but you're gonna get burnt out after that because you like the ideas so much, which is what happened to me. Like, I had so many ideas that were all like churning up and down that it's like you start to like the ideas more than you like the actual execution, because the execution, oh god, the execution sucks. It's like super slow and boring, and you have to just like churn through like hours and hours of dull work, and it's like way more fun to think about ideas than it is to execute the ideas. But then you get to a point where you're like, you feel super productive because you're thinking about ideas all the time and never executing them. And then it gets to a point where you can't, like, you actually haven't really done anything at all. You've just like thought of a ton of ideas, and then like that realization hits you like a ton of bricks, and you're like, holy shit, I just wasted so much time. And then you get super burnt out because you realize like it takes a lot to actually do anything cool. Yeah, it's tough, but you make it through it eventually, which is the struggle I'm working on right now. I'm not honestly that pressed about it because it's like a necessity that I realize that thinking of things is a lot easier than doing them. And now like I have to slowly recover and slowly like go back into doing mode, even though it's like not perfect, even though my ideas aren't good yet. All right. You into geography? No, they're just for decoration. I hate geography. Who's into geography? Yeah. Silicon Valley idea versus... Yeah, Silicon Valley is a pretty funny show. Exploring new tech plus getting good at stuff is to understand how bad current systems are has put me there. Or has put me here. Yeah. It'll hit you at some point, just like how much work needs to be done to get most things done. I wonder, it's cool though how much like new stuff still comes out. Like, I thought for a while like it was just me responsible for, I think this is quite common to have a very egocentric view of the world until you turn a certain age, and then you're like, oh, it's actually a lot of other people that make the world go round, and I'm like barely a part of it. I just do my thing at a small level, but like if Jonathan Blow were to make an operating system at some point, that would be quite cool to see in our lifetime, like a new major operating system. And I know there are others that exist out there, but yeah. Geography is awful. Thoughts on having thoughts. Sometimes I wish I didn't. I guess that's what meditation is for. But also, they're quite important for steering your blob of cells around. You guys ever heard the theory? I heard this the other day that humans are just like a vehicle species for the real species, which is DNA. And the vehicle species just have like complicated ways of like driving around and like interacting with each other in order for like the DNA to reproduce. And it's like all about the DNA. And like we've just built up all this like abstraction and consciousness that's like machinery that allows us to more accurately reproduce with higher quality DNA. It's kind of an interesting concept. All right, what's going over here? I think it's gonna be like a big old pipe thing. Like this. Can I round one specific corner? I think I can. If I do, yeah, like that. And then here, I could do that. Okay. That's kind of cool. All right. You read the selfish genre? No. What's the selfish genre? Well, then why does DNA get mutated or get damaged? Wouldn't it be more protected like in the naked mole rat? I'm not sure. Eugenics actually, okay, eugenics is quite interesting to me because it's like so taboo, but it's like I mean, it's interesting to just think about like optimizing everything, you know? And I know it's like very, because then you say like, okay, well, what is optimal genetics? But it's kind of like interesting. It's like, well, why stop at the things we've already optimized? Like people are like, oh, it's unnatural to like regulate our own gene pool, but like, isn't it kind of No, I don't have any opinion. I'm just asking. You're not allowed to talk about eugenics in like a way that's like speculative. Like, wait, what's like really ethically wrong with optimizing a gene pool towards a certain trait? I don't really want to get canceled, but I'm curious. I don't have any opinions either way about eugenics. It's just like whenever anyone brings it up, it's like, no, you can't talk about it. See, everyone's just like, no, you can't talk about it. It's just like I don't have any opinions on it. I mean, I think it's not good, but it's like it's is there anything wrong with being interested in it? Yeah, I'm talking about a genetic algorithm. Like I don't know. I think it's just interesting to like optimize everything. I think it's problematic that some people like think there are certain things that are unoptimal and that stuff is not really scientifically backed, but like I don't care about the ethics of it at all. I just vaguely understand that when we gene pool will face harder challenges if we keep optimizing or something. Race mainly. Optimizing genetics and then selecting from certain regions comes dangerously close to fascism. What if it's not based on race? Like, what if you had like a genetic project to like maximize neuron density or something, like to try to make someone really smart, and so you like selectively, like in Dune, how they like have a selective breeding program to make like the smartest guy of all time. Is that unethical? Even if we don't come to that, the mere fact that some people would get optimized for something they don't control. Yeah, if we all have the same genetics, then we could more easily be wiped out. I do remember that from basic biology. That's like why we've lasted longer than things that just keep recloning themselves. Yeah, forcing people to participate. I get that. Yeah. A lot of things that are taboo are only that because the wrong person will hear that it isn't black or white and go down the wrong extreme path. Yeah. Chinese basketball player? Yeah, I guess that's true. It's pretty fickle. Yeah. Yeah, one superior. Yeah. I mean, but I don't know. We What do you guys think about like Kanye West better? Well, what is there's already like such a gap in ability though and like privilege in the world. Do you think that's problematic that someone like Brian Johnson exists and is like really smart because he just like works constantly and like meditates and reads and like so his brain and cognitive abilities are really developed because he practices them a lot and he's got like tons of money and he's like super healthy because he puts all this research into it versus someone who's like eating potato chips and watching TV 24/7 like that seems pretty unfair to me. But yeah, I'm not passing moral judgment on Brian Johnson. I just think it's interesting how far how like how much some people have and how little others have in terms of like worldly know-how. Um Another problem is allowing selecting for attractiveness. This will eventually force everyone to do it or else they will be disadvantaged. Hmm. Yeah. Problem with genetic eugenics is that everyone would end up looking like LeBron. Why is that a problem? What if you want to select for lifespan? Select for people that live the longest. Is that problematic? Like, regardless of anything else? Designer babies using CRISPR. I don't know what my IQ is. Probably kind of low to mid to high. Yeah, maybe meds were never the solution. I've never tried Ritalin, but a lot, I think a lot more people in my comment section like inferred that Adderall was like a major point of my psychotic break, and that's really like it's funny. I don't really care if people think that, and but the real story with stopping taking ADHD medication was like I don't know. I took like 20 milligram extended release, which is the equivalent to 10 milligrams short release, which is a very small dose. And I took it and I like stopped like 3 weeks before I ever went into the psych ward. And then like, yeah, it was like not a related event at all. And Adderall like doesn't really make you psychotic. But I don't know. It is kind of funny to think there's like an Adderall addict. Yeah, that's true. Nature or nurture. What a confounding thing. But that's an interesting thing. Like, I kind of think nurture does a lot more than nature. Because you can get, like, our genetics are all somewhat similar, I think, except for, like, severe chronic conditions. Other than that, like, as long as you've got a brain and are capable of learning, you can go very far. But then it's almost like eugenics and, like, controlling. Why is this not black? Oh, there we go. Controlling people's genes doesn't really matter, but like controlling their education and stuff is like way more impactful on like the lives of tons of people. If that makes a small bit of sense. I don't know. It's like what education and resources people have access to is huge. It seems like nurture is more important for a whole population's development than nature really is. It's like it doesn't really matter what genetic traits your population has, it's like how it's organized and yeah, what education you've got access to and all that stuff. Wow, this is let me make one of these. Yeah. They've done controlled studies where adopted children regress to where their parents end up. What does that mean? Regress? Actually, people are very genetic first after a certain age. That's why education is so important in young people. Colonel Dash. Oh, someone's raging at Colonel Dash. If you just look at the data, you'll see privilege gets you privileges in life. It's also simple when you observe the results. Dude, don't I know it? Like, I move in some very privileged circles. Like, the University of Vermont has got to be one of the most, like, privilege maxed universities of all time. Like, it is insane. Oh my god. And, like, I'm an extremely privileged kid. But some of my friends are like, god damn, your parents are well off. But I don't know. I'm well off in the fact that my parents like value knowledge a whole ton, and that I've traveled a lot because they work different jobs in different areas of the world. Like, they're not crazy rich, but that's very privileged, and I'm very privileged that I go to school for free. But yeah, a lot of my friends, their parents are like executives at companies and whatnot, and it's because like it actually makes a lot of sense. This university like kind of sucks acceptance rate wise, and it's very expensive. It's like extremely expensive for out of state people. So it's like tons of kids that are like really, their parents are like extremely rich. And so it's just like a bunch of, yeah, people that are there, and they don't try all that hard to learn because they don't really have to. Like, they're just going to they're just gonna get nepotismed into some company. And wouldn't that be Duke? Yeah, there's a lot of universities like that, I guess. Yeah, nearly every talented engineer. Oh. Alright, lost the camera for a sec, but now it's back. I noticed that too. Like, there's one girl at my school I met whose parents were also academics, and she was like doing very well compared to a lot of the other kids around her. I think she wants to be a nuclear engineer, and she's like president of a bunch of clubs and stuff. And you could argue I'm doing okay for 20 with my YouTube channel and all my internships. I feel like very burnt out right now, but it's like, I wonder how much of that was just like having parents growing up I could see were working really hard towards things all the time, and like how much of it was my own initiative to do stuff. I'm not sure, because it's just like, because of the way my parents are, I'm just like, I like working, or like I feel like I should be working on projects and stuff all the time, whereas a lot of my friends are like, we'll just go watch TV, we'll go bowling, we'll go skiing. They just like do other activities to kind of fill their time than I do. And it might just be because I saw my parents like all the time working on different things. And I think it was similar with this other girl. Like, there's just certain communities of people, certain circles of academics, like, work really hard at uncovering knowledge, and that's just what their values are, and then they pass those values on to their kids, and then the kids like keep progressing through the world and keep improving at things, and it's like just kind of like a never-ending cycle of bestowing your values upon your kids, and then your kids kind of succeeding. And yeah, it's interesting. Kids from shitty socioeconomic situations increase their IQ by like 20 to 30 points after a couple of years in a good socioeconomic situation. Interesting. Yeah, nurture is really important. Polgar sisters, aren't they the chess sisters? Wouldn't trust that without seeing actual data. Best I can say is that engineers make good money, so a better offspring engineer is just correlation. I don't know about that. If you're a good engineer, it means you're like good at learning. Like, this is primarily a profession, especially software engineering, where you keep learning and learning and learning, and you just have to read docs and you have to like know more and more stuff. And like the software engineers I know, the senior software engineers, are so serious about optimizing like everything in their life. They're like, how do I do things right? They don't have kids and then really like fuck them up. Like, they really, like, a lot of the senior software engineers I know, they think in ways like, they're like, I have to understand all my own like childhood flaws in psychology before I have kids, because I don't want to like reintroduce those problems into another generation. And like, they take it very seriously. So it's like, if you're a good engineer, then there's a higher chance you're gonna have kids that are successful, because you're just like optimizing parenting too. Good engineers like love to optimize everything around them. Still limited by your genetics for your max IQ potential. I'm not sure about that, honestly. Yeah, Asian community produces success. Yeah. Yes, engineering is a very privileged job. You ever met a software engineer who had kids that got into music or arts instead of engineering? Not really, because a lot of the like adults I know are all in arts, like, because that's who my parents are friends with, because they're like arts people. I feel like I'm kind of unusual for doing engineering in my family. What's my take on having kids in the future? What do you mean? I feel like people start by optimizing stuff that's wasting time because they don't like it, but then they expand their definition of wasting time to anything that isn't their main thing. Huh. Wow, Polgar sisters are really interesting. Their parents were noobs at chess, huh? Oh, how does burnout feel? I feel like I have one currently, but I'm not sure. Just imagining it. You have to think about what the opposite of burnout feels. It's like, I feel like there are all the different fields in the world were like open to me, and there were so many possibilities, and like I felt like everything was going awesome, and now I just feel like everything is slowed to a crawl, and like not a whole lot is interesting to me. I'm just like, meh, like I was thinking about an idea, like what if there was like a telescope picker for like every single letter on your keyboard? You had like leader every single letter, and what weird telescope pickers could I do? And then I was like, it's too much work to make that video. I don't know, it's all so much work. Just like got kind of lazy for a little while. I still am kind of lazy. Getting slowly less lazy, but it also sucks. I don't know. Oh, has anyone else found this before? Maybe I'm alone in this, but I think there's a lot of physical correlation between there's like a lot of physical and mental correlation. So like when I'm burnt out, which I have been before several times in the past, I find it very hard to like run or lift because everything is just like more painful. And see you later, Puffin. Everything is just like worse. Like running, like all my joints hurt and stuff, but when I'm not burnt out, I can run fine. And it's like, it's not like I'm actually injured. It's just like more physically painful to run. And it's just like I feel all sore and like weary, and like I do like 3 push-ups and then I like want to give up. And yeah. And like when I'm in a happy mood, when I like psych myself up for a run, then it's like amazing. Like it's the easiest exercise of all time. Okay, this looks horrible. I'm undoing this. I'm leaving that big black chunk right there. Yeah, it's really annoying because it starts to like compound, you know? Burnout like builds together, because it's like then you don't really want to physically exercise because it like hurts, and it's like this is so much trouble. And then like because you're not exercising, you get like more depressed, and then it's like bad. Yeah, burnout is a scam. Like there's nothing good about it at all. You just have to keep trudging forward and enjoying small things, and eventually it goes away. Your brain will just recorrect to like baseline. I feel the inverse of that. The better I feel physically, the less burnt out I am. Yeah. I agree with that. Almost like your brain is in control of both your thoughts and your body. Make a biological paper about that. Yeah, there's a lot. Meditation is going all right, but it takes like quite a lot of discipline. And yeah, it's tough. All right, see you, Colonel Dash. First 2 weeks are always the hardest. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Spiritual alchemy and transmute your soul into gold. That's kind of funny. I sure was thinking about that. Can I turn off this guide? It looks bad. This is not done. It needs more. It needs more detail. Throw in some columns. Yeah. I really need to stop comparing myself to things other than myself. And then all will resolve. Just a step in the journey, though. Let's see. Do you have any hierarchy of skills? Like engineering is better than IDK charcoal painting? I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, they each do different things. Engineering pays the bills. I don't know if it's better than drawing or playing the violin or different physical skills. They all do different things. Do you think you should just keep working through burnout or take a break and do something else? I don't know. That's actually a really tough question I'm facing. Because like I like to do work, and I feel like when I stop doing work and I just like do something else, I feel like so unproductive. I feel worse and worse. But like this person is saying, new user, 1984, just switching your focus when you're too tired of one of the things, like reading more fiction if you're burnt out with coding or focusing on the gym, is a great idea. Just focus on a different one of your skills for a bit, I guess. Keyboard layers rabbit hole. I have a bit. It's just like, it's so much. Ugh. Rest in motion. Your default state isn't one of relaxation. In spite of what ads and shit tell you, working isn't something you should connect to damaging yourself. What's an ayahuasca? Oh, ayahuasca? Is that how you spell ayahuasca? It's at Mahone. Never sure how to pronounce that name. Yeah, I'll start adding more rectangles to it. These, I guess, are the absence of rectangles. Although they are a different color. But they are creating more rectangles too. It's interesting, by placing one rectangle, it's actually creating another rectangle, but like taking away a rectangle is creating one more. Does that create two more rectangles? How many more rectangles are created from that? 3? Like, so there's one, but those aren't proper rectangles because they've only got 2 sides exposed. That's only one more proper rectangle then, I guess. Huh. Oh, now we're getting some interesting comments. Like all the young kids have left, and now it's all the serious old head philosopher guys who have spent their lives trying to understand things more deeply. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just someone kind of flexing. I don't even really have to entertain this chat. They're kind of entertaining themselves. It's just like a live group chat of people being pretentious. Oh, someone asked about the nonsense generator. Did I use AI or did I just read the docs? I just read the docs because AI doesn't... There is no AI for types really that works well. I thought about making one a while ago, but I kind of preferred that it doesn't really have good docs. A cool part of being like a YouTuber is you have connections and you can go and talk to people. And I talked to the creators of Typed, or one of them, Lorenz, and yeah, he was really cool. I also talked to TJ DeVries the other day about nothing in particular. Just called him up and talked to him. He said some interesting stuff. I asked him about like what he thought of like, because he's made videos about junior engineers vibe coding and stuff, and I asked, so you're still like against vibe coding? And he said, well, no, actually, there's always just been a ton of people who have never really cared about learning, and they've cared about different things like having a family, or whatever, and that's okay. There are not actually all that many people that care about learning things deeply, but there are enough of them that it holds society up. But he was like, it's just the reality that vibe coding is gonna deprive some people of learning, and that's just the nature of it. But other people will not vibe code and they'll maybe get ahead, and maybe they won't, but it won't matter. Someone will get ahead and the whole structure of everything will be held up. But disregarding your comment about Youngster, when can we expect an OF? If I get really financially desperate, I guess. I think that's... Oh, hello, Chips Ahoy. Yeah, people are just talking to themselves. I meant using AI to understand the typed docs faster. Dude, what do you mean understand the docs faster? They're already like really condensed technical work. Like, are you hoping to squeeze them down to like text message sized informality, just like little chunks of two swaps thumbnail for lambda calculus. Oh, two swap. Who's two swap? Oh, I've never seen this channel before. Lambda calculus. Plus times plus. I don't see lambda calculus. Yo, Astro Sam Dev. How's it hanging? You're the guy who made that video about like making AI that solves bridges and stuff. It's cool to see you here. It's cool to see like other YouTubers relating to other YouTubers. We're all just like guys. Plus times plus is the lambda. Okay. Gotcha. So you all know about this. This is like a well understood area. Astro Sam Dev, how do you not get burnt out? What's your thoughts on burnout? You must also get burnt out. You seem like the type who would be. Because you got to do like a lot of work to make some of your videos. It seems like you would get like burnt out, but then like resume making them a little while later anyway. Using AI as a junior is delicate balance because employers want you to know how to use it, but if used too much, the AI makes you mid. You're using the wrong two and not capitalizing anything, man. Hopefully Astra Samdev is typing out a massive essay on being burnt out. I'm going to be real disappointed if you just leave. Oh, there we go. I was just burnt out for the last 2 weeks. I'm only a sophomore in college or RN, so like a year younger than you. That's why my upload schedule is only once a year. Well, dude, my upload schedule is like pretty ass too. Well, it's good. It's like on the daily, but like the amount of effort I put into certain videos is like absolutely horrible, you know? So it's like a... There's no better or worse in this scenario. It's good to hear you get burnt out too, because I admire your videos. The thrice greatest is waiting for you. Who's thrice greatest? Yeah. Wait, why are you burnt out? Astra Sam Dev. What about it made you burnt out? It's 3 blue and brown, but you understand it even less. How is that even possible? 3 blue and brown is already... You gotta ride the pause button to not get confused AF. I kind of like this rising. Looks like I don't know, like a panpipe. Yeah, like this. Let's see. Look at that. So it's got a bunch of different reeds. Yeah. Yeah, Astro Sam Dev, like, I was watching your channel a while ago, and it was, like, burning me out more. I was like, damn, this guy has made some really cool projects. But it doesn't really matter. It's not really a competition. I think Sam Altman said that burnout is usually from lack of momentum, not working too hard. Yeah, I agree. It's like, it would be fine if the amount of work or the amount of, like, stuff you were getting was worth the work. It doesn't really matter how hard the work is. Like, I'm fine working 1,000 hours a week if, like, I'm getting 1,000 hours worth out of it, but I felt like I was working and not getting that much out of it. At least you get praised by the algo or not, or whatever, or just putting the roasting video in every person's recommendations. Now you have to look at the inevitable decline on the view charts. Yeah, that's a good insight. Yeah, nobody understands it. This Lewis Roberts is like absolutely insane. Maybe, or brilliant, I can't tell. Yeah. It's down to the few insane people left in chat. It looks like I'm going to get back to my panpipe. That's too many pipes. Burnout really is so useless. It's like so utterly useless. Other than to tell you that I don't don't like that panpipe so much. There, that's better. Same color as the background. I'm mouth breathing? I don't think so. Notebook LM to organize information. Is Notebook LM good? Classes primarily. I go to a school where the expected priority for every student life is like 75% school, 25% career stuff, no break. Luckily, I'm not trying to enter academia like most of my classmates. What school do you go to? Then I'm trying to work on about 5 side projects. I have to balance everything with almost no breaks, and the worst part is I don't have a standard career and want to be doing a startup. MIT. Very nice. What's it like at MIT? Like, what are the kids like there? Are they, most of them want to be academics, you said? Huh, looks like we lost our, there we go. Salutation? What does that mean? I've never heard that word. I'll look it up real quick. Student who ranks the second highest in a graduating class. Like valedictorian, salutatorian. Wow, I never knew about that word. Reportedly. Huh. Yeah, MIT I've heard is an absolute pressure cooker. Like, don't they have like hella suicides there? Because it's like you just want to be the best. But there's so many other people who also are trying to be the best. I guess it's important to, well, probably a lot of the kids there realize certain truths about that competition where it's all kind of arbitrary and it doesn't matter. And you're already kind of winning if you're at MIT. But I've always wondered about that, like, because they still kill themselves. It's like, it's kind of hard to escape. It's like burnout. It's like you can logically be like, there's no point in being burnt out. I should still continue to try. I should still continue to work. And you'll get up because you still have the same skills of persistence and you're still kind of good at academics, but the logical like crushingness or illogical emotional crushing feelings of people being better than you at things probably still, yeah, pretty much math Olympiad kids, but probably a surprising amount are really bad at things outside of their one field. Yeah, that is quite interesting actually. It's just like, and it makes a lot of sense. It's like specialists over generalists. We really value specialists a lot. You ever wonder how much of what people telling you they're working on or what they do is real or fake? Sure, all the time. I haven't done deep learning stuff in a while. Everyone who comes into MIT is the best in their context, and when everyone comes together, they realize who really is the best, and no matter how good you are at uni, classes will catch up to you. Try a rectangle inside a rectangle recursively multiple times. Isn't that what, like a rectangle within a rectangle? What do you mean? Like a rectangle within a rectangle? Like this? We're getting down to pixel levels already. But that doesn't make sense. Like, how is it connected? It's a little thing to connect it. Yeah, cool to see an MIT kid here. I always hoped, like, I have this specialization in one thing, like Vim or something, that some kids at MIT or some prestigious university are like, yo, that guy is pretty cool. Because MIT is pretty elite. But I don't know, I'm starting to think peace of mind may be worth a lot more than winning the competition. Optimize for happiness, not to win. Most of my friends or their classmates who go to state schools, I would prefer to work as an employee or similar, simply because they are sometimes better at learning and applying cross-field knowledge. Huh. That's very cool to hear, actually. And it's interesting to hear different people's perspectives from different schools. And honestly, like, the people from prestigious schools are not all that different from other people. Found that about 74% of students use AI for problem sets. Yeah, some of my friends at Stanford said almost everyone is using AI to cheat, and Stanford is like the computer science student. Who is the thrice greatest Hermes? I am very confused. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. Like, I know some people at some other pretty prestigious universities. I have a lot of friends from Vanderbilt University, which is like the Harvard of the South, apparently. I don't know. And there's like a nice even mix of like idiots and geniuses everywhere. And yeah, so like there are some people I know from Vanderbilt that are annoying as fuck, but there are also some people that are really smart. I just wonder like how different the culture would be if I had gone to a more prestigious university. And maybe it's just like the culture of undergrad in general. Like, Sam, if you don't mind me asking, if you're still there, like, how do you do you find people at MIT like do you find you have like a crowd of relatable friends? Like I find a lot of the undergraduate activities not that like enjoyable, or like I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of like drinking or partying. I like to discuss um, software and the future of development of things, and I'm sure that exists at every school, but I'm sure there's some really interesting people at MIT you can talk to. Making it to the IOI or the math equivalent makes getting into MIT significantly easier. That's already a difficult achievement, which shows how much weight elite schools put on deep specialization. You gotta specialize early, I guess. Epistemologically blessed Vimothee Chalamet. How much time do you compare yourself to others? Constantly. I wish I could stop. Yeah, that's actually interesting. Is being around a lot of high achievers very motivating or very not motivating? I wonder. And specializing early is about privilege. I don't know how much it's about privilege. I mean, not particularly. I find the people very similar to any other average college. Better than the small, poor rural high school I came from, where my class size was 100 people, but still not too great. There you go. Being at MIT would not fix all your problems, but it is awesome you got into MIT. There's some really smart people at state schools still. There's someone said, I forget who, but there's like an even distribution of competent and incompetent people kind of everywhere. It doesn't matter how prestigious you go. Like they're just kind of they diffuse naturally into the environment. Oh, why did that not show up as anything? God, this is rage inducing. There's still a big gap to fill in. It's getting a little better. There's more details, but oh, this is not the right color. There we go. This isn't either. Yeah. Smartest people I know go to UMaine. Yeah, I know some smart people at UMaine too. The tech priests are beckoning. Hermetic Brotherhood is waiting for you. What is this guy talking about? It's so confusing. Olympiads aren't really like research. In Olympiads, you're given a problem you're meant to solve. In a research, things take far longer, paths are more convoluted, and require tons of domain knowledge. Name the Greek alphabet in order. God, I can't do that. Yeah, there is no chance of that happening. Is half of all modern research a slop fest? Competent ones are supposed to aim for better universities according to societal convention. Have you thought about specializing in two very specific CS fields? Now that is an interesting thought, but like ML and computer architecture and then writing GPU drivers. That's cool. Yeah. Point of college is to retire ASAP. I don't know, maybe. Why do you want to retire? Yeah, I'm nowhere near, but what you could do with different combinations. Yeah. It's cool to me to see like how many different YouTube channels there are for just so many different niches of things now. And they have surprising amounts of subscribers. You can go find someone with like 70,000 subscribers and their whole channel's just about like pies or something, you know? Pretty amazing how the demand just is filled up. What CS fields? I don't know, man. They're all cool. I'm not really sure. I like visual design a lot, actually. Oh, I'm supposed to go meet my